Well, I understand you don't want me to use it, but you didn't have to remove it, dude. You didn't have to remove it. You didn't have to remove it, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Sean, how are you?
I'm good. Good.
You started your new job, your new gig. Let's just see that.
Yeah, started on Tuesday. Going really well. Started
And
making contributions yesterday, so yeah.
are you uncomfortable? Do you have imposter syndrome?
I've got a little bit of that going on, but not too bad. I'm
Yeah.
getting, whenever you start, starting a new gig, it's like you have to learn all of their ins and outs. So there's a bit of yeah, it feels like imposter syndrome, but really it's trying to gain confidence in their mode of operation or whatever. So, but it's good. The company is really awesome, and um, yeah, uh, fun stuff.
Cool.
Yeah,
My con my contract wrapped up, and so I've been trying to like surge on my passion project.
yeah. I've seen you've been on quite often streaming. So
Yeah, like I know I've been saying this for like 18 months, but like I'm close. I really am, man. Like this, the infrastructure is there. Like I'm just trying to connect the applications now so that they're integrated. And like I was hoping I could. I was up at like 5 o'clock this morning trying to get it done so I could have something to demo to you, but no. I, I learned that when Microsoft deprecates a NuGet package, uh, after a while, they just remove it from the NuGet server.
really, hmm,
Yeah, I'm dealing with that right now.
interesting. I thought it would be up there for all eternity, but I guess if it's like an Azure one and they actually take down the endpoint, I'm assuming that would get for sure get removed. But huh,
So the question is, where's this namespace at? Oh, outside of that, like I'm hella motivated to get this thing done, man. My yeah,
give yourself a deadline. You won't spend more than 2 years on a side project, passion project.
um, did I give myself a deadline? I could create one. Let's say let's say Easter Sunday. Have have a beta version in the field. So
And if not, the CEO is canceling your project.
I'm not going to cancel it because there's so many pivots that I could take. Right now, this is just you probably heard the speech, but this is just the proof of concept of fulfilling an order. But the ultimate vision is to abstract it away so that mom and pops, not even really mom and pops, but just businesses, period, don't have to rely on Uber Eats or Grubhub during COVID and have 30% just taken from them. They basically, I sell them the software and they can use it for their own employees or whoever, whether it's their own employees or contractors, just like Grubhub and stuff. they just fulfill it. So that's the ultimate vision, and yeah, deploy it towards cannabis, deploy it to any shop, right? And they just go into their portal and create their offerings. So, where is this thing located at? I need to know the exact NuGet package.
Doesn't it tell you in Visual Studio?
Well, this is the one that was deprecated. I'm trying to figure out what's the new. If they broke this up, I'm trying to figure out what's the new. Is this it right here?
Oh yeah, looks like there's 4 there.
Like I'm trying to figure out where this specific namespace, unless they completely updated the namespace as well, or
It's probably common then.
like where is table entity located at?
I would guess common.
You said common.
Well, if you look at just their breakdown of names there, so they've got blob, file, queue, and common. Common's usually if there's a actual shared or base library like it had in the other one. I mean, common would be it, right?
You would think. You would think. I want to get this thing done. All right. What else is going? Yeah, what the freak? It's not showing up in here.
What the freak?
I guess I could do this on another. Yeah, it says this has been deprecated.
Huh? If you span that? Where does it go?
But then it says requires NuGet 3.6 or higher. Well,
Oh yeah, but it says this has been deprecated. It has a drop down on it.
Is it Azure Storage Queues?
Azure.storage. And then there's, well, let's look for, so there's, Azure Storage Common. So Azure is now a root namespace instead of having whatever else they had. So that's it.
No, I just plugged in Azure Storage Common and nothing showed up, remember?
Yeah, but maybe that's maybe they got rid of whatever it was at table. Well, what package are you using from it?
Azure or it's
Or what are you using? Are you using?
I'm using table entity.
Table entity, so storage table. And that's
This shows up in Cosmos. I hope they don't force me to use Cosmos and pay for that.
could be. But the Azure entity you're using, what's called Azure Tables, or it's just Azure Table Storage.
This table entity is the class that I'm referencing. Management client is another class that I need.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're pushing Cosmos for that purpose, but
I heard Cosmos is hella expensive, I thought. Well, okay. Let me. What what's my intent? My intent is to get the package in here, right? And so even if it's not showing up in on the NuGet server, like user interface, surely I could just edit the project and put it in there, right? Where's that project at? So where's the packages at within the project file? Okay, I don't. Yeah. So this right here, item group, package reference. This surely I could. I'm Scott Nimrod. I'm smart, right? I could just hack the system and do something like this, and it should be content. We'll close that. Close this. And I don't know if that means I need to do a rebuild or if I need to close and reopen or something. Yeah, I'm smart, man. Yeah, that worked out. Okay. I'll stop programming or troubleshooting and I'll talk. Yeah. Did you ever finish your fantasy console thingamajig?
No, I haven't worked on it this week because I've been getting got up to speed on my new job and had to do some prep for it in terms of getting my office set up for it and everything. But I'm thinking I'll get back on the horse here this weekend. I'll commit to that at least one stream this weekend to work on it because I do want to get it like functioning and going. I was thinking about that it would be kind of nice to use it for the next Ludum Dare that's coming up as a test run. So I will see.
See that?
Got it. Now turn around and resell it for $1,000.
I thought about it.
Then you could buy two when they mass release it in a couple of weeks or something.
I thought about it, but I had surgery. They cracked open my gums yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got stitches in my mouth. I've been spitting out blood for like the past 24 hours.
Ouch. Wisdom teeth or something, or what?
Nah, man. So I get my teeth cleaned like 4 times a year, and I don't know if it's my genetics, but it's like it doesn't matter. Like I feel like my genetics wants me to like be toothless, and no matter how much preventive maintenance I proactively perform, I always have issues with my teeth. It's annoying how proactive I am and how it doesn't matter.
Maybe it's because you're proactive that it's flipping. Maybe it's iatrogenics or whatever the term is.
I never heard that term.
Iatrogenic is the illness caused by medical examination or treatment.
In general? Are you just talking about?
Iatrogenics is like, so think about medicine 200 years ago. Let's just say, I don't know, that might be a time period where medicine was good. I don't really know, but I'm just saying 1,000 years ago, whatever. Go to a time when medical care was not only not good, but it was harmful. So doctors, they'd show up and do bloodlettings or something, and maybe that would
War.
make it. Yeah, they do something that would actually harm you. So they're trying to do good. Their intention is good, but the medical treatment that they're giving is actually counter.
Yeah, the Civil War, the American Civil War, where like they didn't understand that soap and water would contribute to the reduction of disease when on the operating table, right, or infections.
Yeah.
And so they were killing people that probably could have lived.
Yeah. So that's illness or harm caused by that not in bad faith or anything, not intentional, but by misunderstood medical concerns or whatever is called iatrogenics. So you could consider like overprescription of antibiotics, for instance, could be a form of iatrogenics because it messes up your digestive system pretty bad. But it's in those cases it might be, in a lot of cases it's better to get the antibiotics, but it's like over if it's not actually needed and they issue it anyways.
Yeah.
Like I went in once and I had something, and the doctor's like, well, I'm going to prescribe you antibiotics for that. And I'm like, but I know that's not the case. I know, because the conditions under which you described that I would get such a thing I have not met those conditions. And they're just like, well, I'll prescribe it to you. I never picked it up because I knew it wasn't going to help. So, yeah. But anyways, that's the term. So vocabulary word of the day, iatrogenic.
You think that doctor had like some type of commission or something?
No. I think they just, I don't know. I didn't feel listened to because it was kind of like a no, that I've never done that.
I feel like they're
like okay.
Yeah, that's the thing with. I think that's the thing with hospitals, man. I feel like they're just they're like a factory that just herd people, and like they don't. I'm sure that there's cases, but I feel like they get you in, they get you out. Like they don't really like have time to examine your thoughts, your feelings, to really diagnose what's really going on in your life. They just 15 minutes. What's the issue? Oh, okay. Let me Google that. Okay, here, I'm gonna write you a prescription, and that's it. Like, as if they don't have time to really understand your body, understand your experiences, and get closer to the root cause of your issues.
I think that's the point of having a primary care doctor, where you go in for checkups occasionally, but
it's the same thing, though.
Know you after time, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's but a lot of medicine is that way, though. If you go in for a strep throat or something like that, it should be an assembly line. Like they've made it as close to that as possible. Like, so like we have a place at our local grocery store you can go in. It's like a mini clinic. Mm-hmm. You just go in and it's like, if you think it's these conditions, you can come in and you just go there. It's like you pop up, they have a strep test machine right there. They do the swab. They're like, yeah, it's probably strep. I'll write you the prescription.
Yeah, but
get you the confirmation out in a little bit.
Yeah, but not
about 15 minutes.
But some things are more complicated, and so like someone can be struggling mentally and be like, oh, I have suicidal thoughts, and I can't stop dwelling on those thoughts. And they're like, oh, okay, here's a prescription. Like, no, it's you have to like figure out what's happening.
Yeah. Well, I went in once and I had that thing and I got the doctor was just like, well, I could prescribe you something or whatever. And it was just more like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. And then it got bad that I actually went in and I was like, no, I need something. Or I need to get something figured out. Cause yeah, it's it didn't feel listened to. I will just probably not go back to that doctor. So, but I don't know.
Anyway, that's what's going on with me. I feel like there's always something wrong with me. All right, I've been trying to nurse my knee back so I could run again, and that's That's been a 4-month saga of the body is so weird. I know for a fact why people didn't live past the age of 40 150 years ago. I know why. Their body fell apart probably in their mid 30s, man, and it just got worse and worse, and they just couldn't deal with it anymore. Right? Like people died from diarrhea, like things that we'd be like, yo, I was just out of commission for like an hour, man. Sat on the toilet for about an hour. I'm good now. Like, what are you doing tonight? You know, like
Yeah.
yo, people used to die from that. You know,
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but there was like a sketch comedy or something like that that was like, was set in way back in medieval times or something like that. And it was like the guy goes, well, the wife got diarrhea this morning. And he's like, oh, well, it was good knowing her,
I mean, imagine a toothache and how much that could completely change someone's mood. Where, how's it go? It goes from a mood to a temperament to a personality, right? The longer it goes, and like that'll drive someone crazy after like 6 months of not being treated. Like
yeah.
they'll become violent. Like, I mean, that might be extreme, but I think like when there's something that is just agonizing and bothering somebody, and it might be the littlest thing, but you don't realize it until it's hurting every single day. Like, I can't imagine living. We really are like in a better place in our lives compared to like Egyptians, Romans, Mayans, Aztecs. They went through hell. Native Americans or indigenous people before they got eradicated. Man. So I'm just somewhat thankful.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I
still
mean, there's some good. I mean, obviously, but that just gives way to other problems like we've talked about. You reach midlife, you should be dead now. What do you do for the next 40 years? Overpopulation too, and just various other there's side effects to it. But all solvable. We're an adaptable species, so
overpopulation. Do you think here's a controversial question. Do you think war treats overpopulation?
treats it? No. I don't think so.
And
I don't think it's
what really is overpopulation? I mean, surely the planet Earth can withstand 10 billion people. It's just our practices. It's 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 capitalism. It's politics that is the issue. I don't think it's overpopulation. Like how much of the United States is actually occupied? And I would probably argue it's probably like 95% that's really occupied. I mean, not I would say 5% is probably really occupied, right? The rest is just water, fields, trees, farms. All right, I don't really think farms would be occupied, but I could be wrong. But I mean, the majority of people live on the coast and live in major cities, and structures go upward nowadays instead of just being sprawled out, with the exception of probably LA. I feel like you disagree with me.
well, I mean, I live in the Midwest, so we sprawl out, but um I mean, I imagine like what my house would cost if it was in the bounds of New York City or something like that.
I mean, like islands, like or overpopulated. I mean, I lived in Manila. It's overpopulated, right?
Well, just think we're all on an island, man. They're just really big islands called continents.
I've never understood how Europe and Asia are two separate continents.
And
There's no
why they
body.
split it down the middle. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's no body of water. What are there like just two tectonic plates,
I don't
and
know.
the Himalayas is what separates them?
No, no, the Himalayas separate. Doesn't that separate China from India? But those are both Asia. And technically, the Middle East is not a separate continent. It's Asia and Europe, depending on what side of it you're on, right? It's Eurasia. So is Russia.
So
Russia spans over, but
I have to Google this. Why are they two continents?
yeah, I don't know. Probably the socioeconomic, cultural divides, maybe.
Yeah, but that's called countries. Or Europe,
Yeah.
Asia, different continents. Apparently, I'm not the only person to ask this. Europe is considered a separate continent from Asia because of its distinct historic. You are right. Because of its distinct historical, cultural, and political identity. I always thought a continent was based on science. Like I really thought it was based on science, like tectonic plates and water, east, west, north, south. Like,
yeah. Well, we could ask the same thing about Australia. Why is Australia a separate? I mean, it's a large enough landmass, but it's. I mean, it's just one. But Indonesia, which is right above it, is part of Asia, right?
yeah, I would say like Greenland and Australia. Why is Greenland an island, but Australia is a continent?
Greenland's
no.
small.
Is Australia a continent?
Australia is a continent, right?
I don't think it is.
Yeah, 7 continents are.
So why isn't Greenland? Greenland is not small. Greenland is huge.
Greenland is relatively small, isn't it? Though
Compared to Australia?
It's only huge because of the way that maps are displayed.
Aren't maps supposed to model planet Earth?
Well, not 2D maps. Those are used for navigation. They're structured for navigation.
Dude, Greenland is huge. Look at it.
Let me look at it. It's got it, but most of it's under ice, though.
Canada.
Yeah.
You might be thinking of Iceland, but I'm talking about Greenland.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as huge as it. It's what, the size of a little bit bigger than Quebec, maybe.
Greenland is the same height as North America, meaning Canada and United States.
Yeah,
I'm looking at
North America. Yeah, I'm looking at it too. So it's the size of Quebec, maybe.
It's almost the same width as the United States, but it's not a continent. So I mean, so you were right. It's politics.
Are you looking at it on Google Maps, or are you looking at it on?
I'm looking at Google Maps.
Like the globe view?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, but Australia is significantly bigger, but
no,
yeah, I don't know.
It's bigger than Australia. Should I share my screen?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. It's like twice as big as Australia. Hold on. Share screen. Do that.
Oh,
so this is Australia. Okay.
Hold on, I gotta go back to this. No. Look at the globe view.
I thought this was a globe view.
No, click on the 3D globe view. That'll give you the accurate representation of what the size it is.
Where's that at? Here?
That little globe thing, it's on the top of the widgets. So that's the actual size of the landmass then, because you include it's not spread out because of the curvature or whatnot. So that's Australia.
So hold on. Let me use my skills that you taught me.
We'll get it centered on the equator. Or get it centered so it's actually not skewed. Because right now you have it at a perspective.
Okay, hold up.
So you need to center your image on it. So if you scroll it up to the middle, that would be the closest you'll get to an accurate size right there.
All right, so do this.
Although, I mean, if you flattened it out like that, you'd probably, and then you went flat, it would probably be close.
And then we look for Greenland. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So why are they exaggerated on the other view?
Well, it's I don't know why it's exaggerated there. It depends on, I suppose, how they structure it. But the way that a map was made when it's 2D where it's centered on the equator, they project out the bottoms because it's useful for navigation still. You don't need like to have that perspective in order to navigate the waters and stuff like that. So it was used by explorers to navigate. I actually watched a video on this, what explains different maps and how different maps, they're useful for certain things, but they context matters is what it basically, is. So if you're looking for the size of a body of land mass or whatever, a 2D map isn't a good representation except for around the equator where it's actually centered. So like that'd be the actual size. Everything else is a 2D projection of that, which expands out. So if you think about taking the globe right there, putting a pinhole in the middle of it, down the north to south axis, and then expanding that into a sphere, or not a sphere, right? Cylinder. You're basically taking and stretching those bits out to make them work. But yeah, so it's useful for navigation and traversal and stuff like that. It's not useful for actually determining the size and structure of the actual Earth. So, you're looking at Easter Island?
I didn't know.
Or do they call it something different now?
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Oh, that's not Easter Island, is it?
It said Easter Island.
Oh, it is. Yeah, yeah.
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's like below Hawaii, but like on the same level as South America.
But yeah, you've never seen these big totems or whatever that they had?
No.
Like the giant stone, face things.
I could predict what happens to them. Europeans came over and they decimated them.
No, I think they're there still.
No, I'm talking about the indigenous people. You're saying?
Oh no, I'm talking about the Easter Island. There's like these giant statues.
Yeah,
yeah, just look up Easter. That's one of them, but yeah, Easter Island statues.
what are they? Those look like they weigh like 50 tons. Well, I guess they just carved it out. But carved it out of what? Where's the? Okay, is this the seventh wonder of the world or eighth wonder?
It might be a wonder of the world. I'm not sure.
What do the people look like, or they don't exist anymore?
I don't know. Easter Island
Indigenous
natives. I mean, they look. I don't know. They look like standard.
Indigenous people.
What specific islander people? I guess. Yeah, that's one area of the world that you don't get a lot of history about, but I guess there's some of it coming. Some of it's starting to show up in pop culture and stuff, so maybe more will come out. I don't know. I knew about Easter Island because
I'll click on this one.
that show Gargoyles, that cartoon that I watched, they had in the second season they end up traveling the globe basically, and one of the places they go is Easter Island, and they encounter some aliens there that are what those totems were supposed to be based on or whatever. So that's the fictionalized version of it or whatever. But I'm gonna
Who colonized them? I assume they were colonized.
Yeah, I'm sure they were. Well, is probably, I don't know. Be right back. Come on in, dog. Yeah, the globe is an amazing place. All this stuff, lots to explore.
You have any Bitcoin?
I do not.
5 years ago I had 60 Bitcoins.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did you sell them all?
yeah.
What'd you sell them at?
I think I broke even.
Oh no.
They would be worth 2.4 million today.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah, I had like $50,000, or I think I had like $60,000 worth of Bitcoin. So
Yeah, I've never been so lucky as to do that. I've thought about trying to mine other ones like Ethereum or whatever, but I don't know. It seems like you have to kind of geek out about it to know what to do and get it all set up and stuff.
well, I've heard it's crazy electricity to mine. Like I'm almost positive if I did it, they would be kicking in my door thinking that I had like drug ops in my crib. I promise you they would. So yeah. I mean they won't obviously I don't do anything I shouldn't be doing. But yeah, they would kick in my door.
Interesting.
You have anything else planned? Like you're probably going to be like onboarding for the next probably 4 6 weeks. Do you have any plans outside of that in regards to passion project?
Sort of. Like I said, I'm gonna work on that still. I actually was doing some game streaming, so I switched everything over to. I was trying out Facebook streaming, to see how that went. Not to stream professionally or anything, just to see if like I could interest friends in playing or whatever. But I'll switch that back, and I'll work on my. I'm going to work on my fantasy console thing. I just took a break from it to go this. But one thing I do want to do that I got kind of interested in over the break is the idea of building custom keycaps for mechanical keyboards. So I saw a video on it and I got kind of intrigued by that. So I bought some mold making and some keycap molds and some resin and some dyes and stuff like that. So I might give that a try as a little hobby type thing. I actually wondered there that if we've gotten close enough to a time where a retail store where you could build like a custom keyboard would be a viable business if you were to have it in like the Mall of America or something. We have enough tech professionals that care about keyboards yet that would go into a shop, start with a blank keyboard, whatever, and then could buy sets of keys to fill in all of the keys. I don't know if there's a whole subculture of people that geek out on keyboards and keys and keycaps and stuff.
I just bought a keyboard replacement. I bought it 2 weeks ago, and apparently it takes like 2 months for it to ship. But my F5 button stopped working. My F5 key stopped working.
On your laptop?
Yeah.
Oof. Man, that would suck.
I wish they would have told me it takes 2 months to ship it. I feel like they don't have it at all. They have to like create it.
I bought a Filco Majestic Touch 2 Ninja with cherry blue. Poor cow.
I thought about going to Key West today.
I bought this keyboard to work with for myself, anyways. I sent it in private chat. I don't know. Do those links pop up as links for you in private chat?
It will show me that I have a new message and I have to click on it.
Oh, gotcha.
To see it, but it doesn't just show me.
Yeah, so I bought this spendy keyboard.
What does it cost?
I got the MX Blue. I think it's the cherry keycaps or the cherry keys that cost so much. Is what's and then the material that it's made out of and all that it feels nice. I've got it over there, but I did some research about those cherry keys and different kinds of keys because they color code them Like the one I have now are red keys. So when you click them, there's a noticeable click to it, but it's not like that one. With the blues, they actually have a little clicker in there. So when you press the button, they create a sound. There's whole videos and subcultures about keyboards. Like this is there's ones you can buy with custom ones. I don't know. DOS keyboard is another one I was looking at, but I went with this Philco one.
What happened in the U.S. Capitol? I'm so disconnected.
I haven't looked too much. There was a storming. I don't know how much damage was done, but protesters broke through the barriers or whatever and went into the Capitol. There's a pretty funny picture of a guy who's dressed up with like, I don't know, like a buffalo skin or something like that, or a bison skin, and standing at the podium or the where the Speaker of the House sits or whatnot. It's weird. I don't know.
Do you think they would have responded the same way with Black Lives Matter if they did that?
You mean the police or what? Or,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, some people died. It's not like it was a violentless thing. I don't know how much violence was actually directed towards the police or the people protecting it. I just don't know enough about it to really speak to it. I have biases towards believing that it was mostly just storming and not a lot of actual destruction or violence towards people. But I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I know that the media coverage is completely different, though. Like, I mean, just backdropping what you see in the news. So during the Black Lives Matter protest, I don't know if you ever saw that, but the CNN reporter who was sitting there and a building's burning behind her, or it might have been a him, I don't know. But a building was burning, and it's like mostly peaceful protests. And there's the juxtaposition actually caught, that juxtaposition actually caught a lot of people's attention because it was so, like, you've got this a symbol of destruction in this burning building, and then you've got the news reporter saying mostly peaceful.
I can almost bet that was Fox News.
No, it was CNN.
Okay.
I'm like 9, maybe.
Hold on, you talking about recently for when they stormed the White House?
No, that was when they, during the protests or riots after Black Lives, or after the George Floyd thing. But in this one, all the news I get, all of it is insurrection, storming, it's a coup attempt. Like, I look at the imagery behind what they're saying, and I see a couple weird guys dressed up like a I don't know what they were dressed up in a bison outfit, that broke through and went somewhere where they should trespass, where they shouldn't be. But I like I said, I haven't really watched much in the news though, because it's I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of them on steps. I guess there's some barriers that were down. I mean, yeah, there's some crazy pictures of, not crazy, just weird pictures of people holding guns. There's some SWAT stuff. I just don't know. It's hard to get a fair shake out of news because it's not like there is news that you can watch where it's legitimately here is what happened, facts with absolutely no sort of thing.
You don't think Al Jazeera does that?
No, I mean, everything's got a political slant. There's, it's really hard to take out a slant or a position out of when you're reporting.
I'll go to Al Jazeera for my news.
Yeah, but maybe you can look at it and tell me what happened. I can't go on Facebook or Twitter right now. It's just constantly all of that. And
Yeah,
I just want
Dave Brown
to
has
be
sent out a tweet saying that he's not on Twitter.
who did?
Dave Brown.
Oh,
I wonder. I mean, I think everybody knew he wasn't on Twitter. I wonder why he made that public declaration.
yeah.
Hope he's doing okay.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while. I should reach out and see how he's doing. I mean, we used to talk every day, or not every day, every week for a couple of years, but I haven't talked to him since maybe it was 2 years now. It's been a long time, anyways. So, but I was sporting my Developer on Fire mug today.
There you go. I had two .NET Rocks mug. Well, one was a .NET Rocks mug. The other one was, I thought it was called the Tablet Shell mug.
Mm-hmm.
Still from the .NET Rocks host. I don't know where that stuff is now.
Yeah. I wonder how they.
I don't listen to podcasts as much anymore.
Yeah. Well, they started giving away music to Code by instead of giving away the mugs. I'm assuming that there was a significant cost involved in giving away the mugs, but I wonder if their listenership took a hit because of that. Just because of that, like I think a lot of people engaged because they wanted the mug. Like putting that carrot out there.
I think I know like maybe a year or two ago they made it clear that they needed more income for their podcasts that they were doing. And so I think they were asking for contributions via what's that platform?
Patreon or
Patreon and stuff. And yeah, I think their budget is a lot more sensitive within the last 24 months.
Yeah, although I don't see I wonder if on their about page, I don't see like a Patreon link on their page at all, which is odd. Yeah, I wonder if the advertising dollars for podcasts have kind of fallen out the bottom with just the sheer amount of podcasts there are, and plus it's really difficult to actually show what your listenership is. I mean, there's probably a lot of people like me who are subscribed to .NET Rocks, but maybe listen to it every few months.
Yeah, I listened to it yesterday, and that was my first time listening to it in probably like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh no, I definitely am not as, I don't know, a militant when it comes to software development like I was probably like 2 years ago. Like, I don't know, I gobbled any and all information on everything relating to building systems, and now it's like, because I've inherited other responsibilities or obligations, it's more like, okay, well, this is how I make my money. Yeah, I have a passion project, but I'm just not consumed with it like I used to be a couple years ago.
Yeah, you're not consumed with the philosophy of it as much.
I'm not consumed with having to know everything, all the updates within the software development industry, all the latest features for all the different programming languages, and the latest Xamarin Forms features for the latest Xamarin Forms framework. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of just tapped out. 2 years ago, like, I was on it, because my whole philosophy was the more I know, the more money I'm worth. But that proved to be wrong.
Yeah, there's a fatigue to it.
Yeah.
It never stops, and it's just there's so much of it. There's not a lot new either once you get because so much content is focused on people who are starting their careers that it's really difficult to drill into somebody who's actually experienced like advanced concepts, and find people that are issuing advanced concepts, not just a top level discussion. That's why I really dig that the guy, one of the guys I used to talk to, Derek Martin, his YouTube channel, Code Opinion. And the types of stuff he talks about are more in lines with actual stuff that I'd actually have to do nowadays and things I have to think about. It's not just idiomatic. Let me see if that's right. It's not just idiomatic topics around specific coding languages. It's more, here's how you put together a system using .NET, or here's a way, or some things that are useful in the way that he's done it.
Trying to see if Uncle Bob is posting any more blog posts. I don't see anything. No, it looks like he hasn't posted anything in a while.
Yeah, it looks like he did advent to code, but I don't. Excuse me. I don't see much else. So.
I think my final language before I retire is probably going to be. It'll either be Clojure, or if they're able to get Idris to be production ready, it'll probably be Idris, but Idris isn't production ready. So I think the last language I'm going to learn is going to be Elm, or not Elm, Clojure, and then I'll just. That's it. Write a couple more services for my passion project and Clojure, and just be done. Principles of chess and software. That looks interesting. I'll read that. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say.
I could hang it up a little early today. Slow week, so maybe I'll have more to discuss next week.
Well, I've been up since like 5 this morning trying to get a demo that I was hoping to present during our session, so I'm kind of burnt out from it. I didn't even get a chance to take a break. Like, I was like, yo, I got to take 10 minutes for myself before I hop on this mastermind session. I wasn't able to do it. So
you should get smaller side projects. You should do a Ludum Dare sometime. Do a game jam. Do global game jam. It's coming up.
Mathematics scares me, and so you say that, but the matrices for lighting and all that stuff,
that stuff.
Yeah, because you know it. It's easy.
No, I don't know it. I don't. To do 2D games, you don't need to know any lighting. Well, it's a trick though for 2D lighting. Most of it is actually just taking. If you don't want to do point of view, it's literally like if you took a sprite in the middle and then you took a white texture that's just a circle, like a white circle, and then you put some opacity to show through it, and then just turn on the pixels that are within the circle and turn off the pixels or dim the pixels that are not in the circle. That's lighting in 2D. It's not, there's no, the only time I've ever used matrices in 2D is to define like a transform to for a camera for the most part, or to transform an entity to a different position. But all that's abstracted away. All you need to know is that there's matrices to do translations, rotations, and scales, or scalars, or scaling, and then you combine them and do the multiplication. But the multiplication is all abstracted away for you, so you just need to know about them conceptually. It's not that complicated. 3D is more complicated.
I went through a couple books on I think it was Unity game engine. And I mean, I was going through the tutorials, and I mean, I got the code to work, but I didn't understand why it worked. Like, so that's why I just tapped out.
Yeah. You've done some monogamer X&A, haven't you? Like that's pretty
No,
easy to follow.
it was Unity. Isn't Unity like a game engine or something?
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I swear you've written some monogamer X&A to do didn't you do like a chess game or something like that, or a checkers game?
yeah, but that's just a board game. I didn't need to
It's a
um,
game.
employ a gaming framework for that. I just drew a grid and implemented a whole bunch of animations to learn WPF.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, who says that a game has to be written in Unity to be decent? I mean, you can use whatever the heck you want to use. There's still people that write console-based text adventures, and they're real fun. So,
Yeah, the short answer is I don't have it in me to do that type of stuff because my mind is already fixed on video gaming is hard, and so like it's hard to unpeel that belief system.
yeah, I guess if you're trying to make Call of Duty, it's hard. But if you're trying to make, I don't know, a simple space shooter, it's not that difficult.
I'm gonna install Call of Duty Cold War on my PlayStation as soon as they ship my USB 2.1, USB 2.1, whatever that version is that I need for 120 hertz. I think it comes in tomorrow. Then I'm gonna fish it through my wall.
I'm going to send you a video to inspire you. This on YouTube. It's Juice It or Lose It. And it's this video of where these guys gave a conference talk. Where they took a basic, very simple arachnoid game or a breakout game and basically like juiced it up to make it actually seem like a really cool game. So same game, but the game feel by the end of the video is totally different. It's pretty neat.
It's from 2012.
Yeah, it's still relevant though. That one, and then there's I think it's The Art of Screen Shake is what it's called. And that was by Vine Beer. The Art of Screen Shake is another good.
What do you think? Which game do you think was more influential, Tetris or Minecraft?
More influential in what way?
IDK. I'll just leave it abstract.
More influential. Probably Tetris. I mean, Minecraft's exploded, but I mean, Tetris was the heart of puzzle games, right? Or the original puzzle. And there's been a lot of stuff around it. I don't know. I mean, Minecraft has definitely spawned a whole set of different games using voxels. So
You said voxels?
voxels.
What's that?
A voxel is what. Let me make sure that I got the term right. Yeah, voxels are the cubes that they use in Minecraft. So if you think of a block in Minecraft,
Okay.
the world's created out of voxels. I don't know what it stands for. I'm guessing it's like a volumized pixel, maybe, is what they're trying to. It's probably a mix up.
What's your dog doing?
Volumetric. He's
Scratching his back?
No, you know, dogs like sit there and they like scratch the ground trying to fluff up so it's more comfortable.
No.
I don't know. Does your dog do that? Like
my dog scratches her back and makes demonic noises as she does it. So she'll roll on her back and just start squirming to rub it, to itch it or to scratch it.
Well, he doesn't, or he or she doesn't like dig into the ground and like try to fluff up the bed or the earth or the couch or the floor.
Not as much. She'll do that when. So it's weird how instinctive animals are, like what's programmed into them. So my dog will try to bury like a bone in her dog bed. Like she literally tries to dig a hole and her dog bed.
Just sits there.
Yeah, and she'll try to bury a bone in there. And it's weird how like no one taught her to bury a bone, but she'll just try to do that. When I take her to the beach, she digs foxholes and she gets really aggressive and serious. Like her whole everything turns primal when she's digging her foxhole. Like if you try to interrupt her, she'll snap at you.
Interesting. Yeah, they've got a base programming that's built in, and then I guess everything else is what you build on top. So, yeah, voxel is a texel, volumized texel, is what the term was or whatever. But you ever seen a game called Space Engineers at all?
Oh, you mean Kerbal?
No, that's Kerbal Space Program.
No.
Space Engineers is like a voxel-based game that they've like added so much to it in terms of what you can do, but like you can basically combine voxels to build out a spaceship, and they've added all sorts of stuff. But one of the cool features they had is a coding block, so you could actually write C# code to interact with the various like units or the various different blocks that they have that you can use. So you can write like autonomous drones and stuff like that in the game that will go off and do stuff for you. It's pretty neat within the game world, anyways. So,
dude, I'm about to take like a hour nap, man. I'm so drained.
yeah, go for it. Off, so.
What time zone is your new job in?
It's in Eastern time.
Do they force you to work East Coast?
No, there's core hours like most companies have, and since I'm Central Time, my normal start time in Central Time is the start of core hours. Okay. So I might have to wake up, or I might have to go there and be on at 7 sometimes, but I'm 7 Central. But most of the time I can start at 8. Not too big. It's not skewed enough where it's a problem at all for me. So
I remember a couple times I've had people ask me if I would be willing to work West Coast hours. I'm like, no. No, like,
because for you that'd be what, is that a 4 or 5 hour difference then?
Because you're 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah.
I thought it was 4 hours to West Coast. Or
it's 3.
Because
like California is 3 hours. I think Hawaii is 6 hours. I think Europe is 6 hours ahead of us, or London is 6 hours ahead of us.
You said 3 hours?
Yeah, West Coast.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know what the heck I'm thinking. So when it's 6 o'clock there, it's 5 o'clock here, it's 4 p.m. Mountain, and then 3 p.m. Pacific. So yeah, you drop 3 hours. Oh, Alaska's 4 hours though. So maybe that's what was going on in my brain. And then there's Arizona that's like not quite, like they don't have daylight savings time and all that in their time zone. I don't know.
Hey, GZB, how are you? I think GZB found me on Twitch when Togglebit raided my Twitch channel and dumped like 70 people on my stream.
Togglebit?
Yeah, he's a Rust programmer. He has a very entertaining personality when he's streaming.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you should check him out. Did you ever get into Rust?
No, I haven't.
He uses a Linux machine with a Vim editor or something like that. Like it's entertaining watching him just navigate back and forth because he doesn't like. I don't think he really has an IDE. He just has like a Vim editor, and he's like blazing fast, commentating on what he's programming and going back and forth to different files.
Yeah, well, if you learn keyboard shortcuts,
you're a professional Rust programmer. Oh, that's what's up. So you do embedded systems, GZB? I know you don't. I know you're not a professional game developer in Rust. I don't think there's any games that are like hella popular that were written in Rust
I'm sure there will be eventually if they're not already.
that are on consoles or PCs, like
Oh, no.
that are sold for money.
No.
Oh, those drivers for graphic cards in Rust. Oh, you're one of those smart folks. Okay.
Do you ever worry about, because you play YouTube videos when you're streaming sometimes, do you ever worry about, or to listen to music?
Yeah, I do it all the
Do you ever
time.
worry about copyright strikes if your
Strike?
video's less?
No, they'll just give me notification. From what I'm aware of, I just get notifications that my YouTube video has been blocked.
No, yeah, because of copyright or whatever.
Yeah, but I haven't been made aware that I would get kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know that you do. You just have to take down those things. But I don't know with Twitch, though.
I mean, they take it down. Twitch, I don't get any notifications. But who is your friend? Is that a Macintosh on this desk? This is Sean. We do a Masterminds every Friday at 7:30 in the morning, East Coast time. And this is Masterminds Volume 90. All right. So we've been going for almost a couple years now.
Yeah, that is a Mac Plus. I think that was the first computer that my family had that I did stuff on.
It's a family heirloom.
Yeah, I'm sure it would still work if I turn it on. Do I want to sell it? No. No, I think I'll hold on to it.
What would you be willing to pay, GZB?
You could get a better condition Mac for probably less than I'd be. Like so one thing about this Mac that's kind of interesting is there's a bunch of on the top, you can't see it, but there's a bunch of plastic that's all chipped up. And it's because I was trying to actually open it with a knife when I was a kid to see what was in it after it was no longer useful, before I had appreciation for old technology. And so I'm like sitting there trying to claw it open and to see what's inside, and I couldn't get it open.
So we'll offer you 500.
My brother-in-law got a in the box Apple II and a in the box image writer printer, dot matrix printer, classic Apple stuff. I don't know how much he paid for it, but at his game shop. So
is that a Death Star behind you?
No, that's a Technodrome.
What's that?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's
Okay.
where the Shredder Krang lived, the Technodrome. So I'm a software developer, software engineer, whatever you want to call it. So mostly .NET.
With emphasis on web development, right?
Yeah, full stack development recently, but I do some for fun, I do game programming and mono game programming. So against mono game, I should say.
You should put in the link to your YouTube channel.
I don't know if I can link it there.
There you can. Why can't you?
But I can't actually write to anybody on the comment. I can only write.
Oh, I'll paste it.
Nah, it's all good. It's if you just look at the Code Mage on YouTube. I don't have a lot of stuff on there yet, though. I want to go through and like condense all those fantasy console streams down into just a time lapse at some point, and then just get rid of them as independent videos. Like you're right though. Like who would actually want to sit through and watch all that?
Because I don't watch Twitch channels unless they're like live.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Like I might watch the first like 5 seconds, but like no, it's not like it's a television episode that I got to catch up on. It's like
yeah, it's the Code Mage, 3 separate words. But yeah, I don't know. It used to be called My Life for the Code way back when, but it's mostly just live streams and stuff. It's not.
Is your podcast website still up, or did you take it down?
I took it down, but I've got the. I think I still have the GitHub page up for it. Maybe. Hold on. That's still up. And then I think I put the actual episodes on GitHub. It's the audio. But I don't remember how to link to that.
Twitch broke yesterday.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
But
Nope. I'm seriously considering riding my motorcycle to the Keys today.
Well, you should rest up and do it.
I gotta psych myself up. So, GZB, we're hopping off, but yeah, it's every Friday at 7:30 we catch up, and I would say like probably on average once a month we have really. They're not heated debates, but we respectfully have disagreements on politics and religion and everything that's not supposed to be discussed. So.
Yeah, but they're cordial and nice, I guess.
Yeah, I try to make sure that I pause before I respond.
Yeah, it is hard to do that though, to catch yourself when you're cutting someone off and just trying to get your ideas in, actually to think about. It takes like, it's a skill. It's an active skill to try to talk to people in an actual debate or an argument in the proper term, not in terms of, when you're making arguments or whatever.
I find that if I respect the person, I'm more likely to listen and really try to understand their point. But as I reflect, if I don't respect that person, like they don't. This is going to sound very arrogant or bougie, but if the person talking hasn't demonstrated any like discipline, like they don't have any form of higher education, or they haven't demonstrated that they've performed due diligence and understanding and seeking on their own the truth, and they're just basically blabbing whatever the popular opinion is on Twitter, but they really haven't dug into it, then I pretty much just shut them out. Even if I don't say anything, I'm not listening to them. I'm just out of my head. So I had this Jehovah's Witness lady. She calls me like every 3 years, and like I came from a Jehovah's Witness background, right? And so like I still don't celebrate birthday. I don't celebrate holidays, just because I've never done it. So culturally, like I don't miss it.
Yeah.
But she had called me and she was telling me how because it's COVID, the Bible was correct and it's the last days, the end is coming, etc. And I was trying to like have a discussion with her about why I believe that had nothing to do with the Bible and how events like this have occurred even before the First World War, because they believe that the First World War was the sign of the last days. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be pestilences, famine, blah, blah, blah. Actually, witnesses believe that started, I think, it was either 1914 or 1917. They believe that was the start of the last days prophesied by Jesus in one of those books. But she wasn't interested in listening to me reason about why I didn't believe it. She just wanted to tell me. She wanted to be a teacher and not have a conversation about it. And she kept on raising her voice every time I politely disagreed with her. And it's like, I don't know, some people, they're just wired into believing that they're teachers and there's nothing that they can learn from you. There's no counter arguments that they can research so that they can be more practical for the next person that they engage. And it's kind of disappointing. So
yeah, religion is something that it's you can't really you because the basic tenet of most religions is faith, which in its very detailed form or basic form is is to believe in face of all opposition and in face of all reason. So it's an actual rejection of rational thought, but it has a like a that's a
confirmation bias.
well it's an active rejection of it. So I mean it belief or faith has to be the act of saying I have no rational reason to believe this, but I will anyways. Which is it's a existential way of like existing. Like you can think that and believe in it. It's a ethos or a thought pattern. There's nothing intrinsically bad about it. It just drives people nuts if they're so focused on reason and rational thinking. But it's
The worst is the people that force you to listen, right? And so, like, okay, if people come to your door, whether they're Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses, you can decide if you want to answer the door. Then you can decide if you answer the door to politely tell them that you're not interested or that you're busy, right? That's fine. It's I see this in Toronto a lot. Every time I go downtown, I see it. And I came across this in Calle Ocho in Little Havana like 2 weekends ago, and it annoys me every single time. Is I call them Jesus freaks, where they grab a bullhorn and they tell you to like repent and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. And the thing is, it's like they do this on popular like strips or corners where
yeah.
it's very populated, and you're forced to listen to them on their bullhorn. And like that should be it. If I'm
Well,
not allowed to, let me get this off
oh,
real
go ahead.
fast.
Yep.
If I'm not allowed to bump my music in my car with my like $3,000 stereo system, if I get a noise ordinance or violation for that, then the same rules should apply for people that are trying to force people to 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 listen to them about their belief system. It's one thing to be on the street corner and talk at a moderately, not yell, but talk at a moderately higher level. And if people are interested, then they can stand around you. And I think this is like what Malcolm X and other people used to do back in the day. But it's another thing when you grab a bullhorn with a power source and you force people to listen to you, and that's not fair. So
Yeah. The legalities of it and stuff are, I think, a different question. But the thing I think about with there is if you put yourself in their position where they actually what they think they believe wholeheartedly, then it's almost of their it's a meaning or a
obligation.
purpose. Like it's like you would have to do that. Like you would want to do that, and you'd feel compelled to do that because in your mind and in your the way you experience the world, you believe truthfully that you know if these people don't repent, they're all going to go to burn for the rest of existence. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It's this their
Well,
existence, and it's hard to overcome that. And maybe it's not worth overcoming. And I don't know.
is it? Are you ready for this? And
Yeah,
I'll probably get.
I gotta jump off here shortly because I'll stand up in a few minutes. But make it quick.
Can it be confused as mental illness?
Can it be confused as mental illness?
Yeah.
Um, can it be confused with mental illness? Yes. Could it be caused by it? Yes. That doesn't. But just because you can explain something doesn't mean it's not real.
Okay.
That's a
Yeah.
fallacy of thought.
If I tell you that the reason why this world is the way it is because there was a talking snake that convinced a person to eat from a mystical forbidden tree, and that's why we grow old and die. That's why we have disease. That's why we have AIDS. And there's this creature called Satan, and he has his entourage called demons. But then on the other side, there's God, and he has angels, and you can't see them. Even if you like get into a rocket and orbit planet Earth, they're here, but you can't see them. But they love you, right? Like you start going into this narration that can't be proven, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
But it makes you feel warm and fuzzy because you're invested in that thought.
Yeah,
Right?
but if it makes them feel, but the thing is you, like you said, you can't disprove it. So why do we try? And why do we try to do that? If people are finding meaning and purpose in life and they're experiencing the world, even if it causes mild discomfort. Now, when they get into actual harming other people, then we can have that's a different discussion, I think.
Well,
But
it's intrusive. You are forcing me to listen to your message that I'm not interested in. But you're on a bullhorn with a power source, and you're forcing me. I just want to spend time with my family, but I have to listen. You're forcing me to listen to what you believe in.
yeah, well, you could say that about anybody who's speaking publicly. Then not just with the blowhorn. No, you
Well,
take away the
I can
blowhorn.
turn the channel. Or I can
That's what I'm saying is there could be ordinance, the legalities and the way that how boisterous someone would be and causing a disturbance that way. The topic doesn't matter. I think that's a separate concern. If somebody was sitting there spouting out in a blowhorn sports scores all day and you didn't care about them at all, it'd be the same exact scenario. Right? It's not fair. It doesn't the subject in that doesn't matter.
It has to be in the interest of the general public, where it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. So if it's like someone on a piano, like everybody loves someone that's good on a piano. Like
well, maybe somebody hates it.
Yeah, but my point is, it has to be something where people don't view it as a nuisance. The mainstream doesn't view it as a nuisance, right?
But then you get into potentially like a tyrannical setting. When we talk about anytime you talk about the majority and saying where you say it's good for the majority or the majority thinks, anytime you run into a situation where you can have tyranny. If the majority of people, let's say the majority of people wanted slavery and the minority said no, but you believed always in the majority rule and you say that the majority is correct.
Yeah, but the
You run
majority.
in a tyrannical situation. There's got to be principles open above and beyond that.
This is true. I know you're hopping off, but it's the majority that are responsible for elected politicians that make the laws in the first place. So that's the way it is already.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is in some. Yeah, basically it is. But that's why things like the Bill of Rights and stuff exist.
That's why we have the divorce laws and alimony, right?
Yeah.
Because the majority of people that vote, that can vote, put people in power to get things. So I'll let you go. GZB, it's I see based on your comments that you're very opinionated. Yeah, my fear is if I really verbalize my thoughts, then my fear is that I'll be hanging out on vacation in the Mediterranean or in the Middle East, and I'll get killed. So I try to not spew out what I think, because there's people out there that can be obsessive compulsive and do things to you. So
all right, I do have to run though. So
all right, see you, Sean.
Cheers. Yep, bye.
Oh, GZB, any questions or comments before I hop off? I'm going to hop off in 60 seconds if there's nothing else. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning trying to integrate my courier app with my customer app. And I'm kind of burnt out from it. I'll probably put another 2 hours in later today, but I think I might have just take a nap, man. I'm mentally exhausted. I didn't even have a chance to take a break, so I just did another hour and a half on top of the 2 hours that I spent writing code for this Masterminds. So, it looks like you hopped off. All right, I'm out. See ya. Adios. Peace. De veo a ratito.